It's top 5 moments. You know what? We couldn't do this show justice, so we had to play that wee tune.
Jim Ross is running wild.
There's only one moment I want to talk about, and it's the trumpet. It's the guys playing the instruments at the ringside in Oklahoma.
I tell you what, I think JR coming out with the two guys playing the trumpets, I think that's a WrestleMania-esque worthy entrance.
I think it is.
Forget about Motorhead and Limp Bizkit. These two guys played their fucking hearts out for Jim Ross tonight. And Jim Ross actually won in his hometown.
You know what, it was so good, right? They got on this list twice. D'Lo Brown, one of his matches had to set aside for one of these guys to appear twice.
Aye, Big D'Lo. We were going to give him a brown down, but he got the golden thumbs up in the end. Anyway, here we go.
Here we go. It's D'Lo Brown ringing us. He wants on the list.
He wants a second spot on the top 5 moments, but we're going to say no. And coming at number 5, we have the arm wrestle. Scott Steiner, the largest arms in the world, taking on Triple H, the biggest nose in the world. But unfortunately, Triple H wasn't locking his nose with Scott Steiner's palm. It was palm to palm, hand to hand. And I like this because Scott Steiner basically gives Triple H the illusion that he's stronger, that he's overpowering him, that he's going to win. But then Mr. Freakzilla, the steroids just pump into action. The fans start bursting and Triple H looks on and he sees fear in his own eyes. He sees Scott Steiner just laughing, mocking him, and then Steiner puts his arm down and then just starts thrashing his arm down. 1, 2, 3, 4, just beating up Triple H's arm.
Almost doing it to the theme of the JR song.
And yeah, just great to see Scott Steiner overpower Triple H. I don't know if Triple H is injured right now or whether Scott Steiner just can't fucking work. But this goes to show you that you can build a story and you can build towards a match with more than just matches and talking.
I'm pretty sure Steiner was injured. I think it was something to do with his heels or his Achilles. Which makes sense, but could you imagine CM Punk in an arm wrestle with his triceps at the minute? Constantly getting them injured? I think his arm would snap.
Well, I would say so. It's not the only time they've done stuff like this. I think it's a little bit similar to the MVP Matt Hardy stuff.
Yeah.
When they were battling. See, you don't need to wrestle all the time, and you don't need to just talk all the time.
Big Show, they were doing like the whole punch and brogue kick thing, remember, at the machine?
Aye.
I'm not saying that was great, but it was alright.
Goes to show you though, right, that you can still... You don't have to wrestle to build towards a pay-per-view match, and you don't have to just come out and cut the same fucking promo and what do you want to talk about? See, there's other things you can do to build momentum and build a rivalry. And
if Cody Rhodes does an arm wrestle with The Rock, it's only going one way. So you may as well talk about something else.
The Boulder. Coming number 4, we have Bischoff making the match tonight, the Jim Ross match, and he also got an announcement for the Royal Rumble.
Yep, we've got 15 superstars for Raw, 15 for SmackDown, qualifying matches during this as well, though you JR's theme blasting. So yeah, really looking forward to the main event after this, but I like the fact, I think this was almost like the peak Rumble. I'm not saying these Rumbles were like the absolute best, but in terms of like the setup and build going into it, I think this is when like the brand split did it correctly. 15 for Raw, 15 for SmackDown, and to be honest, from like 2002, pretty much up to, I'd say the brand split ended, well, maybe a few years prior to that, maybe like 2008. I think the entire Ruthless Aggression era, they got the Royal Rumble right with the whole 15 and 15. Fire in ECW there for like 2007 and a few years after. They nailed it on the head. I think as soon as wrestling turned PG, everything just fucking died. It's like every concept of things just went down. It's like we started bringing in gimmick pay-per-views like Hell in a Cell and Elimination Chamber, things like that. And it's just things like this with the Rumble. You used to have to qualify for the Rumble, and I get it, right? Your main guys didn't really have to qualify, but there's a reason why Spike Dudley has to take Nunzio on to qualify for the Rumble, because neither one of them deserves to be in it without the win.
If it's a draw, do both men get in it? Or do both men not get in it?
Both men don't get in it. But I like this. They've got JR and King panicking How are we going to get ourselves out of this one, King?
That was great. King's like, yeah, don't worry, JR. I got you in this. I'll try my best to get you.
But the hate that JR and King
and JR's like, it's Christmas. I can't afford to lose my job.
No, but they're so over, right? Just look at, like, current day. Now, I actually rate McAfee and Cole. I think if it happened to those two, it definitely wouldn't be that bad. But, I mean, you look at other commentary teams that you've got in wrestling, like, these days. Like, you know, you think of, like, a Byron Saxton, Corey Graves team. Could you imagine if they whipped that out? I mean, come on, who the fuck would care if that was the main event of SmackDown? Even though you could argue you'd probably rather see that than like a Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest main event. But anyway, I enjoyed this segment nonetheless.
Yeah, coming in number 3 with the tag team title match, Goldust finally Goldust proved that he's not Goldust proved that he's not the weak link in this tag team, even though, well, he is, but he wasn't the weak link tonight, okay?
He wasn't the five-time weak link, he was only the 3-time, the 4-time, he won it tonight though.
He did go. Jericho tried to play mind games. Jericho says you don't have what it takes, you're going to let Booker T down, you're a failure. But no, tonight, Goldust didn't fail, he actually beat Jericho. So
I actually built up throughout the night, Jericho teasing Goldust, the whole story, can Goldust do it? Booker T backs his teammate, and you get the big triumphant moment. Wait, where is this today? Nowhere.
Out of all the combos of somebody from one other team pinning another person, this is probably the combo that you'd at least expect.
No, yeah, no, you're right, but what I was going to, like, you look at today's, like, they had Chad Gable lose like 5 times in a row to Gunther. What the fuck does that do for him?
Absolutely nothing.
I'm not saying Chad Gable should dethrone Gunther, right?
He doesn't get retribution.
Yeah, but it's like...
The whole point of Goldust being called a weak link and being saying that you're not good enough, and tonight it paid off. So they paid back into it, but...
I just think wrestling was much better when you actually had payoffs. You're like, Shawn Michaels wins the war at SummerSlam, but who comes out with the last laugh? Triple H.
Speaking of payoffs, number 2, the first match didn't really pay off that well, so they had to do it again. D'Lo Brown.
And we actually put the first match in at number 2, and there was 2 matches for D'Lo Brown. But for me, it was that botch-filled and that bad, it's that good. D'Lo Brown trying to get through the middle rope and falling like the Randy Orton DDT. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, so D'Lo Brown and Test have one of the worst fucking botch-filled matches I've ever seen. It was so botchy, it was entertaining. Later on, they sent them out to do the match again, and not only did they pretty much do the same fucking spots, but they almost did the exact same botches as well. It was like, they sent them out to improve on the opening match, and, you know, it was pretty much a carbon copy. It was actually so fucking embarrassing. I've never seen anything like this in wrestling before, where they have a match, and then they go out later on and do the exact same match, and they pretty much repeat all the same mistakes that they did in the first one. Mental, but yeah, D'Lo Brown falling, chasing Stacey, Test trying to grab the ropes, referee not seeing it, screw jobs. Just a very, very weird match, and it's getting number 2 in the list. And coming at number 1 with the main event, yes, the main event did feature JR and King taking on Lance Storm and William Regal. How's the hell is this number 1? Because it was fucking entertaining, and Jim Ross ended the show in his hometown, celebrating on top of the arms of the Dudleys, on top of the arms of the King, and people in the crowd playing trumpets going absolutely mental for the Oklahoma town hero. So yeah, love to see JR and King be victorious. We also had Eric Bischoff and Sean Morley on commentary, which was a nice you know, wee different take there. Normally, not that I want JR or King to be replaced, but it was actually, you know, different, obviously, seeing them in the ring, and obviously they can't commentate their own match. So yeah, Bischoff coming in there gave me some WCW vibes. Don't think I've ever heard Val Venus on the commentary before, so that was kind of new. But yeah, good main event, enjoyed it, and just goes to show that you don't need 5-star fucking wrestling matches to put on a great match.
Raw for the past few months, pretty much since the brand split, I think when it comes to multi-man matches, they hit the nail on the head. I mean, the intergender ones have been great this year, and I think this one was done great with the interferences. The whole JR winning in his hometown, the whole brilliant, just great to end the show. Feel good moment for a Christmas edition of Monday Night Raw. Really, really enjoyed this one. We gave it an 8 out of 10, the show on the reviews. If you want to see the full show, go check it out. But yeah, I mean, this is what you want from a show that's supposed to be like at the Christmas period. A fun, entertaining, send you off on a happy note.
Happy note, and we're happy, guys. So we'll catch you in the next one. Until then, been Fog Wrestling. Peace.